I'm going to show you how to export skeletons from Unreal, texture or UV map them in Blender, and re-import them back into Unreal. So for example, maybe you want to change the way your character is textured, or increase texture slots, or decrease them. Begin by finding your character's skeletal mesh and drag it out to the world. Set the location to 0. Make sure to set the textures you want to UV map, if you want to use the textures already in Unreal. Press File, Export Selected. Select the location you want it to be exported to. If you want to export the textures, like I said earlier, make sure to scroll down and enable Bake Material Inputs. Set it to Simple. You can adjust the texture size if you want. You will see that the textures were also exported. Now, open up Blender and import the file as FBX. The mesh might come with multiple LODs, but I recommend deleting the ones you don't need, so in my case, I'm going to save the one with the most details. Change the viewport shading mode. If you're lucky, Blender will already have imported the textures accurately, but if not, go to the Shading tab, drag in the textures, and connect them accordingly. There are countless things you can do here, but since this isn't meant to be a Blender tutorial, I will just do some basic UV mapping. You can go to the UV Editing tab and change the textures on your character. But since I haven't selected the right texture, I need to change it to be accurate. So maybe I want to change the front of the chest. With the mouse cursor in the UV tab, press A to select everything we have selected in the viewport, and G to move it around. You can also scale it. I will set the back to be black. You can also remove texture slots, or add more slots for more customization. You can choose whether to create a material in Blender or change it later in Unreal. Okay, so say we're done. How do we export it back to Unreal? Credit goes to Crix for figuring this out, so thank you, Crix. Select the files that I select by clicking and holding Shift to select multiple items. Make sure not to select the top file. Go to File and Export. Limit to selected objects. Set geometry to face. Don't add leaf bones, and don't bake animation. Press Export and import the file into the same folder with your current skeleton. You can ignore the issue. Now if we open up our character class and change the skeletal mesh, you will notice the texture difference and the added slot. Like I said, you can also change the materials in here.